Hi guys, I just got a history lesson today on Yokomo. This is my first one here, and I had looked at a few of them a while ago, and then I kind of studied, their history and stuff. I kind of like knowing how they got going and all that. So today, just a real quick thing, we're going to tie it all in to all this stuff that Yokomo has in common with Associated Electric or Team Associated and Losi and Cox, dune buggies, RC planes, and models. So first off, this is a YZ2T, a truck, and it came from the Manila, Philippines area. And the first guy at the local track won a lot of races with it, and then he sold it to another guy. And then that guy got some runner-ups, and he got on the podium with third place and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I had seen it on Marketplace for a while, and I thought that's really sharp colors and stuff. And it started out pretty high, but then finally it came down to my price of $80 as a roller. So lots of aluminum, carbon fiber, shock towers on it, nice oil shocks and all that. So really cool, bright colors. So came with the box, came with the manual and everything. And I believe it says in the manual 2018. So that's probably about the year of the truck approximately. So I've got my notes here. I Googled a lot of stuff on Yokomo and the whatever that is, encyclopedia and stuff and everything. And here's some cool little highlights. So it's a Tokyo, Japan company, and the guy that started it, his name was Tom Yokobori, and eventually after doing some stuff, he went together with another guy and combined the name Yokobori with whatever the other guy's name was, so it became Yokomo. But how he started out in grade school as a child, he liked building models, like these plastic models, ships and stuff like that. And then when he was in high school, he used some of his tuition money for cram school, it said, and he bought an RC plane. So it would have been, I'm sure, a balsa plane and a nitro back then, because that was back in the 70s. And then his father wanted him to go to college, but he didn't really want to go to college. So after high school, he started a mail order business for models because he knew there's a lot of people that didn't live in Tokyo and there was no hobby shops around. So he did mail order, and he sold, the ships and the planes through a mail order thing. Then in 1974, he opened a actual brick and mortar hobby shop in a department store, and he sold the same kind of stuff. And then he opened a second store, and then 1977, his sister, who was good with English, helped him talk to Cox Hobbies in the US, and he bought the dune buggies that had the 049 motor in it, nitro motor kits, and he assembled them himself and sold them at his hobby shop as ready to run. So way back in 1977, he's selling ready to run. Well, this thing here, I bought this when I was in grade school, and this is a Cox Hobbies Nitro Indy Racer, it's called, 1979. So his dune buggies were more this style. This is a 1980 a Japanese electric one, but kind of that style. I've seen the Cox dune buggies, and they had the 049 motor in the back. So that's pretty cool. He was making ready to run. Well, then a little while later, his sister helped him do a deal with Associated Electric or Team Associated, and he imported the RC1 buggy from the USA. And then he also started manufacturing his own upgrade parts for it and selling it through his stores. And then in 1983, he introduced his own buggy for RC racing, and it was called the Dog Fighter, and it was his own design. And they still, I guess, have dog fighters through all these years. And then the funny thing about that is everybody's heard of Losi. Well, back in the 80s in California, they owned the pit shop in California, and it was a hobby shop and a racetrack. Well, they sold Yokomo buggies, those dog fighters. And then in 1985, Losi Jr. won the Off-Road World Championship with a Yokomo four-wheel drive dogfighter buggy. And then 3 years later, the Losis came out with their own buggies. And I don't have the first one, but I've got the double X here, two-wheel drive. And then this is the triple X, and this is the Brian Kinwald Graphite Edition, because he won World Championship also. And then this is a special one designed by him with the blue RPM and titanium turnbuckles on it, and all graphite chassis and stuff. So that's a pretty cool one. And then here's their first mini desert truck. It's a little bit vintage too. So yeah, the Losis raced Yokomo and then eventually did their own buggies. And then in 2003, Yokomo introduced RC drifting cars, all set up for drifting, in the box. And then in 2008, they partnered with Tommy to make mini RC cars. And then they're still making all kinds of stuff to this day. But this was just early history. So I was surprised how much I had in common. And I didn't really know too much about Yokomo. I grew up in the U.S. and it was always the hobby shops as a kid had Team Associated, and they had Kyosho. I got a whole bunch of Kyoshos there, vintage ones, the top two. And then in the America's Hobby Center catalogs, everything was Tamiya. So I knew all about those, but I didn't really know about Yokomo. So just kind of by getting this buggy and doing a little research, I really thought that was pretty cool. Going from models and then his sister helping him with her good English to talking to Cox and talking to Team Associated. And it said even to this day, they still have a partnership with Team Associated to help import them for sale in Japan. I don't know if they really do collaborations of sharing parts or anything, but they just kind of bring them into Japan. So both companies make money. So pretty cool. So thanks a lot for watching, and please subscribe, and we'll get this roller together and get it up and going, and I'll do some YouTube shorts and put some links in and stuff. So thanks a lot.